Close your eyes and picture your body as a Formula One team. Macronutrients, carbs, protein and fats, are the frontline mechanics, swapping tyres, refueling, adjusting engines. Trace elements, on the other hand, are the engineers in the back room. Lab coats on, eyes glued to screens filled with telemetry data. You won't notice them until a cable snaps and everything breaks down. In this episode, we focus on 3 of these invisible engineers: copper, chromium and selenium, and explore how they work, why athletes need them in just the right amount, where to find them, and when, and only when, it makes sense to supplement. At the end, you'll get a practical grocery checklist. Let's start with copper. The oxygen logistics manager of sports performance. Every time you breathe in, oxygen binds to hemoglobin thanks to iron. But without copper, iron can't oxidize properly and won't load onto your red blood cells. That means slower oxygen delivery and faster muscle fatigue. Copper deficiency is rare, but can show up in athletes with strict diets or high intakes of iron or zinc. The result? A strange anemia that won't respond to regular iron pills, low VO2 max, muscle weakness, and pale skin. Copper also powers cytochrome C oxidase, the enzyme that closes the mitochondrial electron transport chain. Without it, energy production stops like a treadmill unplugged. And together with zinc, it forms superoxide dismutase, a key antioxidant that defends against damage from sprinting or interval training. Heavy sweaters can lose 50 to 100 micrograms of copper per hour. Do the math across summer workouts, and you'll see why your nails split, tendons ache, or infections come back again and again. How much do you need? 900 micrograms a day is enough for most adults. Just 80 grams of veal liver has more than triple that. 1 monthly portion fills your tank for weeks. Don't like liver? 30 grams of cashews and 2 slices of whole wheat bread give you about 0.5 milligrams. Vegans? Avocado, sesame seeds, and dried legumes won't win gold, but they'll cover your daily needs. Be careful with DIY supplements. Multivitamin mineral blends can contain 2 to 3 milligrams of copper. Combine that with high iron or zinc, and absorption gets disrupted. More than 10 milligrams a day. Risk of liver toxicity, nausea, diarrhea, especially in people with genetic conditions like Wilson's disease. Moral of the story? Check your food log before opening any pill bottle, and if you're unsure, test Cora plasma copper and ceruloplasmin, cheaper than 2 energy gels. Next up, chromium. Hyped in the 90s as the all-gold of fitness. Burn fat, build lean mass, suppress hunger. Reality check? It's less Hollywood. Biologically active chromium is part of the COSTI glucose tolerance factor, helping insulin signal more effectively so muscles absorb glucose with better efficiency. It's an assistant, not a turbo. Browns debunked the ergogenic claims 2 decades ago, and nothing's changed. Studies on weightlifters, runners, and football players show no significant changes in body composition. From chromium picolinate, a 2019 meta-analysis across 800 athletes found trivial or no effect on performance, and above at 250 micrograms daily. Safety gets murky. In vitro studies hint at oxidative stress on DNA, and the European Food Safety Authority urges caution. You only need carb 35 micrograms per day. 100 grams of cooked broccoli gives you 11, 2 slices of whole grain bread another 6. Add a sprinkle of black pepper and you're good. Athletes on low-carb diets may run low on chromium by cutting whole grains and legumes. A simple bowl of oats or puffed spelt at breakfast solves that. Blood tests for chromium exist, but they're not sensitive. Instead, check fasting glucose and glucose tolerance curve. If they shift, chromium could be part of the story. Third up, selenium, the silent antioxidant. Any endurance athlete knows marathons spike oxidative stress markers like high malondialdehyde and protein carbonyls. The enzyme glutathione peroxidase, which neutralizes hydrogen peroxide and lipid peroxides, uses selenium at its core. If plasma selenium drops, that enzyme falters, and chronic oxidative damage leads to low-grade inflammation, slow recovery, and thyroid trouble. You need a 55 micrograms per day. One Brazil nut can offer 60 to 90, but content varies wildly by soil, so your best bet is variety: 150 grams of canned tuna, 68 micrograms, one large egg, 15, and 40 grams of oats, 14, all without overdosing. Selenium poisoning is rare, but possible above 400 micrograms, brittle hair, cracked nails, garlic breath, nausea, and tingling sensations. In 2013, Belgian amateur cyclists ended up in the ER after dissolving selenium capsules into water bottles. Their performance derailed by cramps and nausea. That's the science. Now here's your how to checklist. 1. Eat at least in 5 colourful vegetables or fruits daily. Red tomatoes, green spinach, yellow peppers, purple berries, orange carrots. Those pigments often hide copper and chromium. 2. Include nuts or seeds, at breakfast or snacks. 30 grain of pecans. 20% of your copper needs. Sunflower seeds, great for selenium. 3. Rotate your protein sources. Once a week, liver, for copper. Twice a week, oily fish, selenium and chromium. The rest, lean poultry or legumes. 4. Choose whole grains in half your main meals. Old-fashioned grains work great post-race when your gut is more receptive. 5. Got a vintage copper pansy from your grandma? Use them, gently. Light copper release can help, but avoid overly acidic or long-cooked dishes. 6. Avoid preventive iron and zinc supplements. They mess with copper absorption and the Q-Zan ratio vital for antioxidant enzymes. 7. On a strict vegan diet, see a nutritionist to plan for sprouted grains, fortified inactive yeast, and legume rotation to cover copper and chromium. 8. Do yearly blood work. If you train more than 10 hours a week, ask for plasma copper, selenium, ferritin, free T3, and oxidative stress markers. 9. Timing matters. A Brazil nut on an empty stomach, better selenium absorption. After a phytate-rich meal, reduced bioavailability. 10. And last, if a product promises more muscle, less fat, thanks to chromium picolinate. Close that browser tab. No trace mineral builds biceps or burns fat without calories in check and progressive overload. Bottom line, these invisible engineers won't win races on their own, but a deficiency could cost you seconds, sideline you with injury or stall recovery. That's why in the Reek Sports Nutrition Pyramid, they belong right at the base, under diverse diet and routine blood work, well before powders, pills or biohacking trends. Still have questions? Drop them in the comments. I pick 3 every week for a mini Q&A. If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. In the next episode, we'll explore how vitamin D and calcium power not just bone health, but muscle contraction in sprints. Until then, remember, training and nutrition go hand in hand. Fuel both, and your stopwatch will thank you. Train smart, and don't forget your micronutrients.